So for this drawer front, I have this piece. I'm mounting it on the plywood, but as you can see, it's not wide enough. And I initially thought about just making some angle cuts here and gluing pieces on, but that would have looked kind of garbagey. So ultimately, I have made these OGs that I designed in Fusion pretty quickly and then printed. These are going to be routing templates that fit together like this. This will go on here. We'll rough cut along here, use a template or pattern bit on the router to flush it up, and then on this piece it will go like this. And in fact, I'm actually going to do like this, and the other one like this, so I can do it all on one piece and then cut it in half. So future Nick here, just a little explanation of template routing. As the name would suggest, you are using a template to route a piece of wood to match that template. In many cases, you can use a piece of wood or MDF, but here I ended up using 3D design software to make this smooth Roman OG curve, and then 3D printed it along with its complementary OG here. So by using this, I can get two pieces of wood that fit together very, very nicely. Now, it's important to use the appropriate tools. In this case, I have a table-mounted, pretty powerful woodworking router. You want to use a top-bearing flush trim bit, and the basic idea is that with this blade spinning at scary speeds, the bearing glides along your template, and then the cutting blades cut away the wood up to but not off that template. The bearing keeps it from cutting further. And if you do it appropriately, you end up with a perfect match of this curve. Some important things to consider: you do not want to have too much extra wood here, because this bit will dig in and then potentially get out of hand and pull the piece away from you and throw the piece somewhere or even injure you. The other thing is you want to make sure that you have your bearing set at the correct height. If it's too high, it's going to just cut right into your template and ruin everything. Ask me how I know. So now that I've rough cut along those lines, I will double stick these templates onto the pieces so that I can use them as templates for the router. Decided to spare you the torture of putting on the double stick tape. If I had been smart, I would have designed little recesses in here that would have accounted for the thickness of the tape. As it is, it will cause the templates to be a little bit proud, but I don't think it's going to affect the function. So let's get these things stuck on here. Really press down, make sure they seat well. And watch my earlier pencil lines. Not the end of the world if I'm a little bit off. All right, ready for routing. So I'm a little worried about this edge that is pretty unsupported, so I ended up using a piece of duct tape here. I'll have to be pretty gentle and putting pressure here, otherwise it'll push the template away and then totally ruin everything. So we'll give it a shot. So I don't know if it's the bit is dull or just the wood is super tough, but it's the first couple of passes I've taken have like chewed into this, which is not a good start. So I may take this over to the sander, try and get it closer before I do any sort of actual routing. It's a little concerning. The thing at best would ruin the piece, and at worst would injure me. I'm back here having bandsawed and sanded off the majority of the excess material. I'm still a little worried that I'm going to get the kickback and destroy the part, but I think it's the best I can get it. I'll give it a shot. So straight off, I've ruined the piece by forgetting to set the top bearing, because I had the top bearing set to the other piece, which was thicker, so it chewed right into the piece here. I'm gonna just reset it and accept that I'm gonna have a divot there and fill it in with epoxy or something. I'm not about to start this whole thing over again. All right, take two. So that appears to have worked as designed, except for my little mess up right there. Is what it is. I'm going to do one more pass with a bit just slightly higher, but seems to be good. All right, now we'll try this one, which is thicker and harder wood. Hopefully it works. So it does appear to have worked, but it still, on the entry, catches quite a bit. So I don't know if I can enter at a different spot and go back, or just worry that it'll then Klein cut and cause a problem there, but we'll find out. This part of it looks quite clean. This side actually worked quite well. It's going to be covered with a banding edge band, so it doesn't matter so much. That worked perfect. So now I need to see if I can get this part to work better. It was sanded as close as I dare to that line, and then we'll see if I can clean it up with the router without it catching and exploding. That seemed to do the trick, so I think this is about as close as it's going to get. We'll see how it fits. So we won't know entirely till we get the templates off, but so far looks like it'll fit together like a glove. So now I'm going to cut this in half. It was fun trying to get these off, not breaking them. And indeed, fits like a freaking glove. Love it. Love it. Love it. So it's very satisfying. It fits right together. I'll then glue these up, glue it onto the plywood backer, plane / sand it down to final thickness, and Bob's your uncle. And here it is, all glued up. Everything fit together perfectly. My little boo-boo over here will fill with glue and epoxy eventually. There's a pretty big height difference between these, but we'll get planed and sanded down to final thickness. All in all, this worked out with the few hiccups that you saw better than I expected. I'm very happy. Alright, so I wet this down for effect, but you see that line is perfect. Really turned out great. See the little divot where I made my mistake? That'll be easy to fill with epoxy. In the end, this can be best shop furniture you've ever seen.